Hey, welcome back to Clean Cut, where we can talk about the truth about just about anything, as long as we use logic and common sense.
This season, we're looking at the miracles of Jesus to see what they can tell us about God and His promises to the faithful. Last time we talked about multiplying food, how Jesus can provide limitlessly for our most basic needs. Today, drawing wine from water. This miracle was Jesus' first, and is only mentioned in the Gospel of John. And the wine failing, the mother of Jesus saith to him, They have no wine. John 2:3. This event took place at a wedding feast. Jewish wedding feasts were long celebrations at which people would feast and celebrate for a whole week. Because of this, running out of wine midway through the feast and not having enough for the guests was considered a major embarrassment. Jesus' mother Mary appeals to him to help solve the problem. And Jesus saith to her, Woman, what is that to me and to thee? My hour is not yet come. John 2:4. A more precise translation of this would be, Woman, what to me, to thee? Jesus is warning Mary that he's never done a miracle before this, and when he does it, his ministry will begin, and that will affect both of their lives, leading to suffering for them both. The word woman here is a respectful title, meant to highlight Mary's similarities and differences from the first woman, Eve. Both began without sins, both were given an important task, both were contacted by angels, and both consented to what the angels told them to do. However, while Eve's choice indirectly caused the fall of man into sin and eventual mortality, Mary's choice enabled Jesus to enter into the world, so that he could save people from those sins. His mother saith to the waiters, Whatsoever he shall say to you, do ye. John 2:5. Mary, however, doesn't hesitate. Despite the challenges and suffering that lie in her own future, she knows what Jesus has to do and lets him begin. She also shows that she really cares about the groom, who would definitely be blamed for having run out of wine too quickly. Now there were set there 6 water pots of stone, according to the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 measures apiece. John 2:6. The Jews had extensive purification and washing methods, which they used to wash dishes, hands, feet, etc. These were cultural rules that they followed to minimize the chance of getting sick, just like people do now, except with fewer poisonous chemicals. They had very large pots for storing relatively clean water for washing. Jesus saith to them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And Jesus saith to them, Draw out now, and carry to the chief steward of the feast. And they carried it. John 2:7-8. No theatrics seem to take place here. In fact, the whole thing is done pretty quickly, with no indication that the waiters were ever out of sight of the filled pots at all, and no chance for any strange trickery to happen. And when the chief steward had tasted the water made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the waiters knew who had drawn the water, the chief steward calleth the bridegroom. John 2:9. The chief steward is the man who was in charge of making sure the wedding went as planned, so he kind of messed this one up. But anyway, the waiters reported to him, and he has to make sure the wine's fit for drinking instead of being spoiled or not finished fermenting, so he tries some of this wine that Jesus just made from water, which he assumes is just more wine belonging to the groom. And when he tries it, he goes to talk to the groom immediately. And saith to him, Every man at first setteth forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse, but thou hast kept the good wine until now. John 2:10. The chief steward is incredibly impressed with how good this wine is, and remarks on how strange it is to open the best wine midway through the wedding feast, even though the groom, of course, had nothing to do with that. So, here, Jesus shows the ability to not only turn water into wine, but into really, really good wine. And water is the most common liquid on earth. Again, we see that Jesus is fully able to provide for the faithful, with not only multiplied food from the last episode, but fine drinks as well, though this is something most of us won't get to fully appreciate outside of heaven. Next time, drawing money from fish.
That's all for now, so keep asking questions, and thanks for watching.